Hey everybody, Icy Cat here once again. Today's operator profile is going to take a look at the SAS Defender Mute. His signal jammers make sure that the attackers can't get a breach on the defender's position. So let's take an in-depth look at Mute now. As a defender, Mute has access to the MP5K 9mm submachine gun, or the M590A1 pump-action shotgun. He also has the standard SAS pistol for the P226, also a 9mm. I'm going to recommend going with the shotgun most of the time for if you're going to be playing any kind of objective defense. It's super handy for knocking holes in walls and creating lines of sight for not only you, but other players on your team to shoot through as well. You can also get good line of sight if you throw your nitro cell on a wall, knock a hole in the wall with the shotgun, and then keep an eye on it so you know when to detonate it. The MP5 is a decent submachine gun, but I find it lacks the accuracy needed at any decent ranges compared to some of the other ones like the P90. If you put a recoil compensator, a barrel compensator on there to help control the recoil and things like that, that'll help a little bit. So placing signal jammers here is going to be what you want to do immediately when you're using Mute. Don't worry about placing the reinforcement panels initially. Don't worry about picking up Rook's armor plating initially. Get those signal jammers out. As you can see here, I didn't get that one down fast enough, and I had a drone or two, actually I think two of them sneak past me. So the faster you can get these to create choke points that the drones can't pass, the better. Then what you can do is place your reinforced panels and throw down your signal jammers. The signal jammers are going to prevent Thermite from being able to cut through the metal barriers, and he's going to have to pick up the charge and try again someplace else where you haven't covered it. I'm going to throw up another wall over here in this section, the one that's covered by the lockers and is kind of not seen from the defender position on the other side of the basement. And what I'm going to do is, now that the drone phase is over, I'm going to go pick up a signal jammer and bring it back over to cover the wall. You can pick them back up again. I realize that this one must have gotten shot out, so I'm going to pick up this other one here and reposition it. And I can do that as many times as I want. So, you know, if you're finding that you've placed it in a bad area, you can reposition these as you need to. So upstairs here in this position, there's a really effective way to lock this down. If you throw a signal jammer on both these stairwells, you've created a situation where the drones really can't get past you. The only other way for them to get in here would be if the attackers would come and breach a window and then toss the drone in through the window. Or they could actually jump over the signal jammers with a lucky jump. You do have to time it just right, though, and you risk either falling short or waiting too long and shorting out before you can make your jump. But it can be done if it's timed just right. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to place this signal jammer in between the two panels, and that'll give me coverage on both panels. Although if Thermite goes to an extreme edge, he can still find valid placement. It's a little spotty that way. It doesn't fully cover both panels. Here I'm going to have to replace the signal jammer I put down in the first place because the defender there working with me was a little trigger happy and shot the signal jammer while trying to shoot the drone, so I had to put another one down again, unfortunately. So for working with the team, Mute's going to find a really good combo with a player like Bandit. Bandit is going to help him provide duplicate coverage areas. And here I'm working with Bandit, so he said that he was going to go ahead and cover these reinforced panels. So I'll throw these down, and Bandit is going to go ahead and attach some batteries to these, which will go ahead and short out any Thermite cutting devices that are placed on it. Knowing that, I'm going to place my signal jammers down. This one I should have placed a little closer to the door. My coverage ring didn't extend to the door, so a breach would still be valid on that door, and I should have placed that a little better. In this one, I was worried more about placing these for drone coverage because I knew that Bandit had the reinforced walls covered. Although, looking back now, I can see that some of these signal jammers could have been placed in a little bit better positions than they were. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20. So good counters for Mute are going to be Sledge. Sledge does not need to worry about breaching with any kind of electronic device. He can just bash right through a wall that's covered by a signal jammer, and it won't slow him down in the least. He can completely ignore Mute's anti-breaching defenses. Another good counter for Mute is going to be Twitch. Her drone, while affected just like other drones, can shoot out the signal jammers and destroy them, so she can sneak into positions and take these out. Right when she gets onto the edge of being affected by a signal jammer is when she's in close enough range to be able to shoot one out. So that works pretty effectively. The other good counter for this is going to be Thatcher, whose EMP grenades will also just completely destroy the signal jammers as well. So you can have a lot of good meta play with who you pick either on your team or to go against a character like Mute, and open up a lot of options for both offense and defense depending on how you play it. So that's been our review of Mute this week, and tomorrow we're going to be taking a look at the Spetsnaz attacker Glaz. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.